Welcome back to ABC Scripture Doodles. I'm Christy Darty. I teach hand lettering and doodling with a focus on faith, and you have joined me for the ABC Scripture card deck that we're making. We actually did R last week for Redeemer, and this week is S. Can you guess what the word is going to be? I'll give you a hint. So lately I've been waking up during the middle of the night and I cannot go back to sleep. So I'm trying to train myself to learn scripture as I go back to sleep. So I've been working on Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, and so on. I'm trying to get the whole verse there. But that is a hint for today's word, and that is shepherd. Did you guess shepherd? Um, this is from Psalm 23. This is 23:1, and this is a different version that I said. But the Lord is my shepherd, I have all that I need. I just noticed I'm missing a fingernail. Ignore that. 2 fingernails. Okay, so I thought we would start off by drawing just a little sheep. And they're so simple to draw. Basically, you want to, and of course you can draw on anything, but I'm just going to draw on my iPad because it's easy right here. And I'm just going to do some doodles, some little swirly doodles right here, like that. And then I'm going to do a little smaller version up here attached to that. And then I'm going to do a little face right there. And some ears that come down like that. And then I'll do some eyes, just real simple, basic, a nose with a little mouth peeking down. And then let's do some legs down here and put some hooves down here at the bottom. So this is very, very basic and simple, but anybody can do this. So give it a try. You can play with the proportions, like maybe the head would look better, a little bit bigger, I think. If I were to go back and if I wanted to be really picky, I might erase this part and then make his head a little bit bigger. Let's see if I can do that on the iPad here. And then erase that part. Anyway, play around with I don't like how that loop is going into it now. So, one thing calls for 10, but how about like that? Maybe like that. Okay, so you play around with it, and this will be great to use as your doodle today for our cards. Let's get started. So I want to remind you, whether you're doing this on the template I provided you and you printed it out, or if you decide to do it on the iPad, we're all doing the same thing. We're doing scripture, ABC Scripture Doodles, and so we all have the same common goal. It doesn't matter how you create it. It's just the heart that matters, right? And if you stick with me till the end, I'll have a template for a box for you to stick your cards in. So today I'm going to use the iPad. Through the whole series, I've switched it up. I've done some traditional art and some iPad. But I do have something special coming called iPad Week, and I'll leave the link at the top. But if you're interested, I have free classes all, it's the week after next. So, or actually by the time you see this, will it be the next week? Anyway, the 6th through the 10th. So check your calendar and make sure that you sign up for this in the description. Okay, so today is S, and I've already made my box from last week. I'm just going to use that same box. I'm going to duplicate it so I'll have an extra copy for down below. There we go. Okay, I'm going to make a new layer, and we'll start with the letter S. Now let me give you a couple of S's to look over, to play with. S is a fun letter, but it's I think it's one of the more difficult ones to learn. I love making swirly, fancy S's, but you could do something as simple as this. And that stepped it up a little bit more because I gave it that little loop at the beginning. Or you could do something like this. I kind of took those and made another little loop down here. There's so many different ways you can play with it. And then when you're doing lowercase s, you can do of course, this, or you can do this, or I love doing that for my S. So play around and decide what S's you love making, or try something new today. And I'm using my template from my membership to just trace on, and I'm going to write the word shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. I have all that I need. Okay, and then we'll go back, make some downstrokes next to, make lines next to the downstrokes. We're getting close to the end of the series. I can't believe we're already on S. Next week will be T. Then we'll just have a few more left. Hopefully you don't feel too far behind if you're trying to catch up. But they're only, usually the classes are 8 to 10 minutes or something like that. So usually you can catch up pretty quickly. Okay, now I'm going to go down, skip the doodle. I'm going to go ahead and add my scripture. So the Lord, this is so good for learning. Learning lettering, and learning the scripture. The Lord is my, and then shepherd. I ended up doing it all in print, and I made it wide across the page. I wanted it to fit all the way across. Shepherd. Thank you for putting up with my ceiling fan. I have all that I need. And I don't know if you can hear my dog chewing, but she's got a bone. She's over here having the time of her life. All that I need. That's cricket. And it's like a nylon bone. It's not even like a real bone. And then Twiggy's sleeping, and Apple is just looking around. She's like, is it 2 o'clock? Is it time for my lunch yet? Okay, now I'm going to do our third step, which is lettering Psalm. And I'm stretching it out just like I do every single week. 23, 1. I'm going to take off the background because I don't need that anymore. My template. And now I'm going to put a little sheep there. So you can draw a sheep, or I already have one in my Scripture Doodles stamps. So I'm going to go ahead and get that one. I think he's so cute. Scripture Doodles here. And right down here. And let's see, I'm making a new layer. And then he's too big. So I'm going to turn that down. And I think I like him. Let me center him a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I think he looks good right there. Okay, so that is our ABC letter. What do you think T is going to be? Next week is T. Oh, it's a pretty easy one. So tell me in the comments, and I will see you next week. Have a great day.